When you were asked what a $10 multi-tool looked like, I doubt it would be something like this. But that's exactly what we have here. Recently there was a sale on this particular multi-tool on Amazon. I tried to let as many people know as I could. But just from the initial impressions, it's something I think we have to pay attention to. Now, there are other variations of this tool online that are identical, except for maybe the color variations. And they're running around 20 to 30 bucks, somewhere in there. But even at that, I think we need to look at this tool a little closer. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and do a quick 5-minute first look at this ATECH 13-in-1 multi-tool. So here we go. Here's a $10 multi-tool. Get these out of the way for the time being. I'm going to give more detailed specs in a future video, and we'll talk a little bit about more things that you can do once I've taken it apart. And I'm going to be taking this apart for a couple of reasons. I need to know the pivot sizes, determine whether this is something I can turn into a pocket knife, potentially determine the size of the pivots relative to Leatherman tools so we can see if they're interchangeable. Now, what we do know for sure is that this pivot is very similar. It's a little bit smaller than the one found on the Leatherman. And why that's important is I've already seen pictures of Leatherman implements in this basic frame. That's already kind of an important feature. So we'll definitely be talking about that. So this particular one came with a very stiff blade, but it looks relatively sharp. So let's take a look. Just turn this over here. That's actually very sharp, very surprising. So sharp blade, but very tight, and it looks like the pivots are definitely stripped, or at least close to being stripped, but close enough. And the other question I had that I need to address is talking about the scissors. This is one of the two things that I really wanted to look at closely with this implement. Alright, sorry, I forgot I had to get some paracord, but I've already seen a basic equivalent of this multi-tool demoed where it could cut paracord. Ooh. Wow. Because I'm not going to put sideward pressure. What the hell? What the hell? Okay, okay. I didn't put it, so in here, it's not as good. But up here, it's awesome. Yeah, what about the tip? That's really, really good. Now if I put some sideways pressure, it cuts inside the pivot area perfectly as well. Wow. Okay, so the scissor is as advertised, as good as I could have hoped. In fact, if I'm going to say, in all honesty, these cut the fibrous nature of paracord about as good as the Leatherman Surge. So that is consistent with what was said over at We All Juggle Knives channel on the same basic multi-tool. Sharp, he found the same thing. File, well, this file is basically useless. It's a knife saver with the pry tool, basically. And the saw looks okay, but I don't know. I think it'll suffice. I think that's where I'm going with that. On the inside, the only thing I want to pull out to test really quickly is the cutter. So let's go ahead and grab a piece of paracord, grab the cutter. Wow, it's actually not bad. I've had much more expensive multi-tools with worse cutters than that. So that works really well. And why this is useful is what I would do is I would open up a small part in a package, and then I would grab this in and just use this to get all that plastic packaging off. That's mostly what I use this thing for. It does have two other flatheads on the end of can opener, bottle opener. You know, they're there. And then the pliers. Now these are spring-loaded pliers. The action is actually surprisingly good. I don't hear any grittiness or feel it. And the cutters are replaceable. And these are also the same cutters that you'll find on the Roxxon. So definitely interesting. Now they're not particularly sharp, and that's what somebody We All Juggle Knives channel said about them as well, is that the cutters could be a little bit better, but I wonder if we could just sharpen the cutters and it would work out just fine. So we'll see. We'll have to play with that. But all in all, for a tool that is under the weight of a Surge, really nice design with locking implements, all locking implements. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what I could possibly have gotten for $10 that could compete with this. Even, I think even as high as $20 or even $25, this is a pretty good bargain. The only thing lacking here is a pocket clip, but at the around 10 and a half ounce range, it definitely seems like it's a sheath knife, right? It feels like a sheath knife, and I gotta say, this may be more comfortable than an actual Surge, no joke. Maybe just because there's no secondary serrated blade that sticks up into your hand, but this feels particularly comfortable comparatively, and that's without gloves, obviously. And I'm also happy to find out that there's no slip joint detent. It's actually got a spring built into it, just like in a Surge. It even has a little piece to keep the plier head from getting locked in under implements. There's a lot of interesting design features here. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be upset, oh, they're taking the Leatherman Surge and all that. Guys, the patents for the Surge are done. They're done. They can copy them ad nauseum as much as they want. Legal companies in the US could copy the Surge patents, the Wave patents at this point. The patents are over, guys. The Wave has been around for a while now, okay? Well, that's why Leatherman came out with the Free Series. Now, it didn't perform the way they wanted it, and that's a problem, especially because now these tools are coming out. But, yeah, I mean, fair game, guys. Even if it was just within the US, it'd be fair game, okay? So, well, I have more to say, obviously. The Phillips looks like it should fit the rebar exchanger. And in some of these kits actually come with a kit, but that should work really well. And actually the awl is very sharp. And that was a nice, pleasant surprise. So that's good. I even like the shape. All right, so all in all, I think it's very, very good for $10. I have a total of 6 of these bad boys, believe it or not, that I ordered, because I was like, there's no way they're ever going to be that cheap again. And I figure we'll do them as giveaways, and I'll do them as presents and that kind of thing. Oh, the other thing is, this is definitely not knocked down. You can see in the... maybe I could do this. Let's do this. Ooh. You can see it is not knocked down on the edges there. And that is a little bit on the sharp side. Not great for my fingers. So that is one other negative. It does come with a sheath, but it's, you know, it's junk. It's junk, but it's a sheath. Hey, it's a sheath, right? You know, and you're definitely going to want a sheath to carry it. I want to open this because I want to see what the file... Ooh, this file is way better. But still not great. Now let's see if the saw... Oh, this is much looser, but not loose, just much easier to open. And the edge looks a little better too. While we're at it, let's take a look at the sharpness on this one. Excellent. And the scissors on this one as well. Might as well, right? Excellent. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay. Excellent. Now, these scissors are so good, it makes me want to see if I can fit this in the Leatherman Wave. I'm not even kidding. And if I can do that, oh, we are going to have some serious fun. So this, of course, is the ATECH 13-in-1. We don't have a real name for it, but if you were lucky enough to grab one for $10, awesome. If not, there are others similar to this that are in the $20 range, and I think those are still probably pretty good for the price. Definitely great for kind of a toss-around bag, and surprisingly capable. I think the real question will be is how good is this saw? This one on this one, looks a little bit more finished than the other one, so we'll see. I'll have to test that in a separate video, but thanks for stopping in. This is a first look at the ATECH 13-in-1. And yeah, you guys have a great day.